It was really good.
And Vada Curry gets many fans in the city. Good morning and welcome to News Superfast. I'm Nolan Pinto. In a grim reminder of the Bees tragedy, 10 people were trapped in the Tenugat Dam's reservoir at Bokaro. The water was suddenly released into it on Friday evening. The rescue operation undertaken by the army and the police have been successful in rescuing the stranded students from the Damodar that was in full spate after the release of the water from the dam. Well, for more on this, I'm joined in by my colleague Varghese. Varghese, can you give us more information on this?
Well, this happened quite yesterday, and what we know is that these students, they are aged between the ages of 12 and 20, and they in fact got trapped, or they were playing in the river when the water levels were low, and they got trapped when the dam and the upper reaches in fact released water, and this water in fact was at this water levels in fact rose because according to the dam heights it is safe to store only up to 852 feet, while water levels rose to 853 feet, and because of it the dam authorities were forced to in fact release the water. And when the waters came in rushing in, these students who were playing at that time because the water levels were low were taken in by surprise. Now they were able to survive by holding onto a concrete platform. Now this concrete platform was built by Chandrapura Thermal Power Station to in fact check the strong currents of the river. So luckily they were able to in fact congregate on that platform, and the water did not in fact push them out. But still it was a very serious situation because the onlookers and others couldn't reach the students because the river was in total spate because of the release of this huge amount of water into the Damodar river. These students were later in fact had to stay on this concrete platform for around 15 hours, and the army, first the CISF and the police came in, but they couldn't reach the students, and then the army had to be called in, and in a joint effort they were able to in fact rescue all the 10 stranded students from there and pull them off to safety. But still one thing we know about it is, Nolan, that at present these people, a lot of lessons have not been learnt, especially with regards to the Kulu tragedy, and this is another tragedy that was in the making, but by God's grace it was in fact avoided.
Now, Varghese, how long did it take for the army to rescue them, and how did they manage to do so? Did they stop the flow of water? What exactly? Was it a helicopter airlift?
Well, what we know at present is that first it was the police who came to the place, and they realized that the magnitude of the situation was much high. So in fact, in the upper reaches there was a contingent of the CISF that was guarding the dam. So they were in fact roped in, and they also realized they did not have the facilities to in fact ensure that these children can be moved through safe shores. That is when the army was called in, and within that process around 7 to 8 hours had already passed, and the army came in and they realized the situation, and they asked the dam authorities to at least cut the flow of water so that there will be some the respite in the water levels. But then that also did not happen. Later it was believed that the army in fact had to get in with the ropes and pull each student one by one from the place, Nolan.
Right, Varghese, thank you very much for all those details. Well, in a grim reminder of the Bees tragedy, 10 students were trapped in the Tenugat Dam reservoir at Bokaro after water was suddenly released into it on Friday evening. As per reports coming in from there, the rescue operation was undertaken by the army. Our rescuer stated that authorities did not give any prior indication like a siren or a hooter before releasing the water. Well, it seems that no lesson has been learned from the Bees tragedy in Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, where on the 8th of June, that's what you see on the left of your television screen, 24 students along with the tour operator were swept away after water was released into the river without a warning from nearby Larji hydropower project. The students, who were from the VNR Vijnana Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology in Hyderabad, were on an excursion trip to Manali. Well, the tragedy occurred when a group of students reached the riverbed for a picture postcard shoot. With the gurgling river in the background, a sudden wall of water released into the river swept all of them away. Well, now these stranded students who you see on the right, your television screen, somehow managed to climb atop a concrete platform built by the Chandrapura thermal power station to check the strong currents of the river, and that is how they somehow managed to survive their ordeal. In fact, if you've just tuned into News 9, in a grim reminder of the Bees tragedy, 10 students were trapped in the Tenugat Dam reservoir at Bokaro after water was suddenly released into it on Friday evening. The rescue operation was conducted by the Indian Army. Now, the rescuers stated that authorities did not give any prior indications like a siren or hooter before releasing the water, and hence the students were stuck there. Well, the students aged between 12 to 20 years were trapped in the middle of this river after the gate of the dam was thrown open, sending millions of cubic feet of water swirling downstream near the Pachaura village. Now, these students somehow managed to climb atop a concrete platform built by the Chandrapura thermal power station to check the strong currents of the river. However, it seems that no lesson has been learned from the Bees tragedy in Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, when on the 8th of June, 24 students along with the tour operator were swept away after water was released into the river without a warning from the nearby Larji hydropower project. That's what you see there on your left of your television screen. The students, who were from the VNR Vijnana Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology in Hyderabad, were on an excursion trip to Manali. The tragedy occurred when a group of students reached the riverbed for a picture postcard shoot with the gurgling river in the background. A sudden wall of water released into the river swept all of them away.